Hey there. So, to be or not to be, that's a pretty famous Shakespeare quote, right? You guys remember this from Hamlet. Well, hopefully you are not at home deciding between life and suicide like Hamlet was, right? But here's my point. We make decisions all the time. Do you know how many hours the average person spends every week making decisions? You're going to be floored by this number. It is 7.5 hours, right? Almost a full workday people spend with the time to make decisions. So in this episode today, I am going to share with you the reason why it takes you so long to make a decision or why you spend so much time making decisions. And importantly, how to decrease that time so you can spend more time doing the things that you love. How does that sound? I'm Dr. Darlene Mayo. I am a neurosurgeon and a neuroscientist, and I help high achievers just like you reach peak performance of mind, body, and spirit using groundbreaking techniques in neuroscience so you can unlock your full potential. So, what makes decision making so difficult? Well, I will tell you the secret. The number one thing that makes decision making take so long and be so difficult is most of us are in the absolute wrong state of mind when we are making a decision. All right, and what do I mean by that? Well, here's the thing. Usually, when you're making a decision, you are under stress. So even if you are making a decision about something positive, right? About where to eat for dinner, right? You're still in a state of stress about it because there's always something in the back of our mind that says this decision can influence something in our lives, right? Maybe we choose to go to one restaurant for dinner and we happen to run into somebody and get a great job offer. Or maybe we go to the other restaurant and if we're single, we might meet the love of our lives there. So always in the back of our mind, there is this little voice that says your decision can really make an impact in your life. Now, not all decisions are that impactful, right? But our brain still treats them as such. Here's the thing. When you are stressed, you know what happens, right? Your body starts releasing cortisol. And you've heard me say this 100 times, that cortisol is bad for your brain, particularly in a chronic situation, right? So it decreases your happiness. It decreases your motivation. It actually starts to take away the activation of the top part of the brain, the cortex, which is your thinking and reasoning part. And it starts activating those basic instincts in your brain, right? So you tend to choose the thing that is going to be safest for you or what you think is safest when you are making a decision under stress. So you are making a decision in a state of stress, and that is never going to be the right decision for you. So the secret that I want to share with you today is how to get your brain in a state where you are not stressed before you make a decision. All right, so the first thing that you need to know, you need to remove as much emotion from the decision-making process as possible, right? So you want to look at things as logically as possible. This is why people tell you to do a pros and a cons list with decisions, right? It's so important. It's not so much about writing down the pros, writing down the cons, as it is causing the right part of your brain, the part of your brain that actually knows what is best for you to make a decision. Because here's the amazing thing about your brain. All right, when you activate it properly, you will always or almost always, right, make the best decision for you as long as you aren't operating from a period of stress. So my goal is to teach you how to get your brain into that right state and activate that cortex so that you can make the best decision for your life, okay? So I mentioned to you writing down that pros and cons list, which is so important. Here's the deal though. Sometimes we are so stressed out about these decisions, right? What if it's a really big decision? What if you're deciding between two jobs and maybe one job is in one city, one job requires you to move, right? Or, maybe you're deciding, are you going to spend your life with this one person, or are you going to end a relationship, right? What are you going to do? Those can be really big decisions. So here's what I want you to do. Before you even sit down to make that pros and cons list, I want you to go through my routine that I outline in my High Achievers Peak Performance cheat sheet, right? Why is that? What does that do? That is actually activating all of those happiness and motivating neurochemicals in your brain so that you get your brain in the right state so that you are able to make the best decision for yourself. If you follow that little 10-minute routine before you even sit down and make your list, you are going to have a more logical and more complete view of what the pros and the cons are to your decisions, all right? So if you do not have that cheat sheet, go right now to www.livefulfillednow.com. Download my High Achievers Peak Performance cheat sheet. It is totally free, and do that little 10-minute routine before you even sit down and write down your pros and cons. All right, so tomorrow in my Neuroscience Ninja group, I am going to go live and I am going to give you an amazing secret that is going to help you make the best decision for yourself almost 100% of the time, I can say with certainty. When you learn this technique, you are going to use it every single time you have a decision. It is so powerful. It is what I use to make decisions all the time. And you know what? Things may not always turn out the way I expect them to, but they actually turn out the way I need them to. So who doesn't need more of that in their lives? All right, everybody. So you know that I like to end with a question of the week. So the question of the week this week is, what is the hardest decision that you have ever had to make, and how did you make it?